People were distracted. Is everyone actually there?
Yeah.
Are you still there?
I am here and yet not there.
So you're in
And
your natural
everywhere.
ethereal state. Good to know. Or you got punched into the mist form because you're a vampire. Either way.
God damn it.
But yes, welcome to episode 33? Fuck, I can't even remember. 34. Thank you, God. I can't remember. Wait, shit, I should know this. We're ahead of crit roll by 1.
I only
Yes.
remembered because I looked at my YouTube. Because it was done
Jinx, don't tell him your secrets.
It was done rendering. I was like, oh, I gotta make that public. Oh, we're on episode 34, not 33. I actually screwed it up last night closing out my stream.
You fool! But anyways, yes. Session 34 of Elemental Odyssey, continuing to star these nerds, and me just corralling them along in some way that resembles a plot. We will be down a Rin, a Snek, and a Lodo for various reasons, some involving trips, some involving terrible working conditions, and fucked if I know for the other one. Because I can't remember.
Spiky dragon penis.
Okay, then. Leave the pickle out of this. When last we left our merry band of heroes, question mark. Well, not a lot happened really last week, aside from them having a road trip, shenanigans doing, terrain discovering, there's comic books made about him, and probably some justice being delivered by way of boots to faces. Oh, and a very disgruntled terrain discovering that, oh, hey, these two dudes who were involved in why you're fucking been shot through time by like 200 years aren't dead! So, you know, that was fun for him. He was very disgruntled. Made me happy. But when the session last closed, you all had just arrived at the city of Folsom in Cavalli. And, believe it or not, I have a map for it!
A map.
You guys are on the middle left-ish. Most of the city is down.
So Naku in the stream.
Hello, Naku, in stream chat. And like I said when you arrived, but to mostly refresh your memory and also mine, Folsom's it's an interesting place for those of you not, you know, typically from or have been through Cavalli before. So basically anyone who isn't the bard, the druid, or the boof. Or terrain, but he doesn't count because he's special. The buildings all like have the like recognizable modern building shapes, but they look like they're made out of trees that have grown into these shapes and still function as trees, despite, you know, also building like a 5-story office building. It's very surreal, especially when a few of them are palm trees. Very like fucking, we're talking like redwood thick palm trees. It's kind of weird.
A bit.
And if I remember correctly, you guys had in particular stopped the Golden Grove Inn for the night when you arrived.
Yes.
Which, true to its name, was indeed a grove with a very nice golden color scheme. Not like the overly like, oh god, why is everything painted chrome in the future kind of gold. But just, you know, like nice, you know, autumny gold accents. It's like, it's fancy without being like excessive, basically.
Fancy but not gaudy.
Yeah.
A touch of class.
Mm-hmm. But yes. Wait, hold on. I should move your token because you are not on the edge of town. You are actually at the inn. So I should move that. Which the inn would be about down. Where's the thing? Fuck, there are no big enough buildings aside from that one over there, but that's goddamn fucking random ass maps off the internet. You'll work for now then, I guess. Boop. The parking lot and then the inn's there. But when you all wake up, you know, do your morning routine, as long as it takes for Padma to do hers, because freaking groggy, unhappy, not a morning person at all.
Not in the least.
You find a note, or well, miraculously, Giacchio and Fenless both find notes tucked under their door.
I will open it and read
What
it.
do they say?
Fenless's note is from Scar saying he and Sneck are off doing some errands. The one Giacchio gets is that apparently Terrain and Eleanor are going out to do justice. That's all it says. It just says taking Eleanor and we're doing justice. Signed Terrain. That's it. That's all you got.
I do hope they remember to get the tea.
I
Yeah,
hope they use protection.
What?
Well, okay then.
Didn't want
I
to
think-
say
Oh,
anything,
God.
but okay.
I think Cal is just in the gutter tonight.
Gutter boof.
I think we can blame that on Pokemon chat. When in doubt, blame Grace.
Yeah. That sounds like the Watt secondary motto.
What's the first one? When in doubt, ink.
No, that's the Sigmascape motto. That's a specific subset. The actual motto is when in doubt is just like the motto is something singing. It's exactly spelled like that too. Just exactly something singing.
I thought it was a pissing contest.
Get back to you on that one. But with knowing where your companions are and they haven't been, abducted by horny dragons like you potentially may have thought Giacchio might have been this morning, the day is yours. What you doing?
Shrug.
I want to take in the sights of the town. Not necessarily looking for anything in specific, but since I haven't been here before. Look around, learn about the town a little bit.
With that like generalist intent, like I'm not gonna make you roll for that. That would be needlessly complicated. When it's like, hey, what's this town like? Is a fairly fucking simple question, and there's tour guide pamphlets around you can find. But it's it's very interesting seeing just the general aesthetic of just like a lot of shaped trees with weird Tron lines on them because Magitech druids are a thing here. So there's a fair bit of that, and you can very, very easily tell who is a local and who isn't. And you're kind of surprised by that because like never been here before, but you just look at it and you're like, they're from here. They're not.
Ha!
Although you suspect part of that is the attire. 'Cause, like, if they're not from town, they're just more like you would see other places of Kansara, or like that. Ones who are actually from here have. It seems like a fucking rule. If you're from Cavalli, it's like earthy tones, and then it looks like something maybe seasonal, like the accents. It like basically everyone's walking around in a style not dissimilar to Fenless, but maybe not only winter themed.
They haven't reached my level yet.
Well, no, there's still some winter fans out there. That's just not everybody.
They are enlightened.
You also see at least about 3 or 4 boof people who remind you a lot of Celestine, but most of them are a little bit smaller than Celestine, except one. He's way bigger.
So Celestine isn't the biggest boof I've ever seen.
No,
Mr.
but then
Boof
again,
times 10.
Celestine is also not a Tibetan Mastiff as a person.
Big boofs.
Yes, very big. 10-foot tall boof, in fact.
Oh my.
Yeah, Mastiff's big. And it's a nice town. Like, you can see some spots that look like kind of resort-y. Remind you, at least closer to the shore of the lake, but there's still also, like, you know, piers and fishing boats, stuff like that. Some people just, you know, you see a few people just on like random like speedboats doing water skiing and shit. So it's about what you'd expect from like an actual coastal town, just very much in the center of continent. Or at least in the center of this part of the continent. And let me just double check a thing. You also notice it's hard to see, but there's in roughly the middle of like the giant ass lake the town you're at is bordering on, there's a not terribly small island, but you can't see much of anything on it beyond like probably a few trees. And even that's just like, oh, well, probably just an island for some reason. And even then, there's nothing on it but trees. It's like, probably nothing there. Probably. And if there is, it might not try to blow us up.
That is always a bonus.
Yeah, like, it's... You have to really, like... Even, it's like, basically you saw like one of those, like, quarter-operated, like, binoculars. And that's how you're seeing this island, because it's way the fuck out there. Like, even with these, you're only barely seeing it. So you're like, it's pretty fucking far. And if I have to use these to even catch a glimpse of part of it, it's not close enough to potentially be relevant to the town. Might be relevant to whatever's on the far side of this lake, but not here. Oh, Tori sharing the Mastiffs.
Just because. Oh my god, that's huge.
Yeah!
That almost looks like a lion in dog form. Holy crap.
Yeah!
Because like, from the way Jukes was sounding about it, he didn't know what a Tibetan Mastiff was.
No,
So it's like,
I
here's
didn't.
a visual.
Yeah, they big.
It's
They
the
be
doggo lion. Just look at that.
Maximum overboof. Didn't they hunt bears?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mastiffs as a whole are bred to hunt bears.
And at some point in my meanderings, I'll probably run into Finless and enjoy some tea with him. Knowing that he's a connoisseur of good tea.
There we go.
That's not hard, because I imagine Fenlis's first priority, now that he's back in his home turf, find the nearest tea shop, get the good shit.
Exactly.
In fact, hold on, let me just quickly adjust something on your character sheet here. If it'll fucking load. God damn it, roll 20. Why you leg?
Just adding awesome ass tea to his inventory real quick.
I think the database knows whenever it looks up Fenless, it needs to lag.
And there's another dog. Because this professor is training in and I need good wholesome boofs.
An interesting looking head on that dog.
It's a... If I
but-
recall... Bleh.
Go.
If I recall correctly, Borzoi are somewhat related to greyhounds. really share a common ancestor.
Okay, so since I feel like this is entirely within character for Fenless, since you had brewed some of your fancy ST you'd found on that airship ages ago in the last session while you were away, and sipped on that, you're like, my tea stock is now dangerously low because there's only 1 box of fancy ST left. You have rectified that and spent 70 gold to get up to 23 boxes of fancy ST.
Damn, 70 gold. That's
It's
top
good
shelf
tea.
tea.
Beautiful.
70 gold for 22 boxes of fancy tea. I feel like that's entirely reasonable.
Oh yeah,
Sounds good
suppose
to
for
me.
the quantity, yeah.
Yeah, a sizable quantity of the good shit.
Still, that's a top shelf fucking tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It ain't that fucking, like, insert whatever the cheapest ass brand of tea is here. I don't actually fucking know.
There's one thing Fenless doesn't skimp on, it's certainly tea.
Exactly.
His secret ambition is to figure out how to use Druidcraft to just grow his own.
I could see that.
Make tea with special druid properties.
End of the campaign, Venla survives. I'm just gonna open a tea shop. Boop! Be like Uncle Iroh.
It'll be lit by moonlight. Uncle Iroh was probably my favorite character in that whole show.
He was a lot of people's favorite characters.
He
I know
was
he was
so
mine.
cool.
He
I
was
mean,
the best though.
out of the avatars though, God, I can't remember all their names. What was it? Toph?
The Toph was
The
great.
blind.
Yeah, that
She
was
was-
Toph.
Yeah, she and the water girl, I think,
Katara.
are probably my favorite avatars. I mean,
Yeah.
Aang was cool, but Aang was Aang, and he's the main character.
Yeah,
So he
main
doesn't
character
have to.
excluded. So, anyway. So, with that vitally needed expense made for Fenless,
Mm-hmm.
All is well.
let me see. Let me roll on things and stuff. So I assume Padma is also just looking around with her little griff with her.
Yeah.
Dare I ask what Celestine is getting himself up to?
Play with the puppies.
He's chewing plastic.
Celestine just finds the nearest dog park and just plays, "My kind!"
My people. Naku just comes in, the good shit, TM.
I mean, I literally have it listed on his character as Fenless's character sheet as 23 boxes of fancy ass tea. Exactly like that. Okay then.
Dad, it's the good kush. It's the dollar store. How good can it be?
I'm gonna need a perception check out of everybody, please. As I get next level on my GM rolls by pulling out my actual real life D20 to roll it.
Aha.
You'll probably hear the die because it might be very loud.
Does my passive perception of 20 count for anything, or do you want me to roll still? Just to make
Roll
sure?
still.
Okay.
Though the passive perception will help your roll a bit.
Okay. Just making sure.
Need one out of Fenless too, please.
Bendis, how did you become such a connoisseur of tea?
Lots of late night studying and not liking coffee.
That's
Although in
very
reality,
fair.
that's not true. I do drink coffee, but tea
Endless doesn't.
Tea is beautiful. Yeah, Fendless doesn't.
Do you need me to roll perception for you?
I'm pressing it, and it's not working.
Are you in edit mode?
No, I turned off edit mode for
Oh,
you.
there
Oh,
it
there it
goes.
goes. Sad you don't have advantage.
Lag. Aw.
That's still a good roll, though.
Yeah, still fucking hell. Padma and Fenris on top of this shit. Celestine is distracted by playing with he went to like a park. He found a bunch of like little kid booths and is now roughhousing with them. Because booth solidarity. Alrighty, dice. Alright, DM die. Let's see how this goes. Hold on, let me. God damn it! That's not where I wanted you to roll. Don't go off the.
It went off the table, didn't it?
Yes, and that time I dropped it while picking it up. Because somehow my finger's like, oh, no, you're not holding that. I'm like, no! Let's try that again. Okay. So, Fenless, you are the one to notice this.
Yay.
And so while you and Jockey are talking at the whatever corner coffee shop, tea shop, wherever the hell you guys are chilling at the moment, you see walking in a different direction an actually kind of familiar face.
Oh dear lord.
1 second, I need water. It's tricky at first because you're only seeing like the back of his head. But then he like stops and like turns towards the person who's walking with him, who is a very curious figure in your opinion. Because it appears to be like a long-haired woman wearing like armor, but all of her, including her clothes, is made of fire. Or at least seems like it's solidified fire somehow in the shape of a person. You're like, what the fuck? And then you get a look at the dude's face. Oh, hey, we've met him before. He's from Dragon Roar. It's that guy who came with you and Marcus into the crazy mad science facility. That's Leo. And he's having a rather you can't hear what he's saying because he's far away and you only like kind of notice when he's not like yelling. But he's having a very impassioned conversation with this elemental lady he's walking with.
Wait, hold on, out of character. Don't I still have a spell that lets me summon something so I could hear what they're, let me see.
Let me see.
Or you can get my attention and I can read lips.
Oh, that's true too.
Let me see.
Doing that
Conjure
too far
animals.
away.
Your animals, prison.
Because technically it would be speak with plants if there's a plant within range.
No, they're.
Oh, that's only events. Never mind.
Let me see. There is a plant in range of you. There is not a plant in range of you that can also hear them. That could also theoretically hear them. But you could easily point it out to Xiaoqiao, who could in turn look over and read lips.
We will do that.
All right, Xiaoqiao, what language
I
does he speak?
I speak...
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. It does. I just pull up the list because it's easier that way.
You have no idea what the hell he's saying.
Well, that's just
He's not
fair.
speaking in common. You can see him using some language. It is not common, Sylvan, undercommon, draconic, celestial, or elvish.
Interesting. It's not a language I'm familiar with. And obviously,
I see
since
you're
I can't
thinking I've-
hear it, I can't pick up what language it might be. Because they're too
I
far
have a feeling
away.
I know what language it is, considering it's a fire elemental.
At least not at first. At first when you're watching, you're like, the fuck is he speaking? What are those little? Oh, wait a minute, that's common now. Okay. It starts getting easier, and it's like when he, right when he switches to common, he like does this thing where he's like dramatically like put his hands like, oh my god, seriously. And this is all just like Giacchio translating and like muttering to himself as he's saying this, so Fenlis doesn't get it right away. Not unless Giacchio is perfectly translating the half of the conversation he's getting from the dude he can see.
I'm kind of giving him a shorthand. I'm not going like full on play by play, but
okay. Let me get this right then. Like, look, you're worrying too much. We can handle this. He wouldn't send us here if we couldn't. I know you're worried after everything that we saw in that crazy mad science place. But it'll be fine. Trust me. You do trust me, right, Cinder? Come on. See, there's no reason to be upset, okay? Just calm down. And as he said that, she like it looked like the fire that was her hair kind of intensified a little bit. Just a little bit, not a much, just like a little flare. And he's like, no, calm down. It'll be fine. I promise.
I don't think we've met this Cinder person before.
And, bless you.
Bless you.
It's like another second. Bless you again. It's about another like 10 seconds of him like clearly trying to calm down. He, like, even at one point puts his hands on her shoulders. Doesn't look like he's burned at all. Like, just straight up does not give a fuck that he's actively touching fire. Just, Cinder, deep breath, calm down. It won't be that bad. If it looks bad, we can book it. Okay? Okay. Now let's get going so we're not making a scene in public again.
Okay, before they leave, I'm going to use Druidcraft to swirl leaves around his head so that he'll follow the leaves and then look at my face, and I'm going to conveniently wave.
Okay, so Giacchio, you see him start to leave, and then just like, at first like, no, what the fuck? Because he like flails like a bug just flew in front of his face at first, but then he's like, what the? Leaves are swirling. He follows it, turns, he like, goes past him, back around. You actually see the elemental lady following it too, because like, what the fuck? Turn, and then they look directly at you and Fenlis, who is now waving, and just has this like shit-eating grin on his face. Mm-hmm. And then
exactly.
he sip.
I chuckle a little bit and wave at them as well, realizing that's probably Fenlis is doing.
He's looking at you with like his hands kind of up in front of him, like he's doing like the $5 footlong gesture about. He's just like holding his hands up like he's gonna like catch a basketball or something, and he like looks a little confused. And then going to like that thing where like you're like trying to point at something, and then you're like, but no, yeah. And then he looks at Cinder and then you recognize this as well because this is now Draconic. Am I crazy, or did we know that guy? I know that guy. I think maybe I've hit my head a lot since last time. Wait a minute. Those are the guys who were with the boss for the thing, right? And you now notice that like the elemental clearly has like a face and mouth. And she, in that same language you don't understand. But now that you're seeing it a little bit with like a more straight on view, you at least passingly recognize that you know someone else who speaks that.
Okay.
Because you've seen Padma and Arvin both speak it.
She's speaking primordial, isn't she?
Yes.
Ah.
And he answers back in, again, Draconic. Yeah, they want to see what's up, because concerns and stuff and things. And she just kind of says something in primordial and then kind of hovers a little closer to him in that like a touch the waifu, I take your lifu kind of way.
Oh boy.
I really need to get Padma and Oven to teach me primordial.
And then Leo like kind of nods a little bit. And now that you have like a better view of him, you also notice something he didn't seem to have the last time you saw him. He has these really interesting gauntlets on that seem to actually, you know what, hold on, I have a picture of both Leo and his companion I can show you, and I will just put it in the general channel, complete with full color,
Yay.
because I drew it and then I traced it in like MS Paint and gave it color. Where the fuck is it? There it is. There we go. That is Cinder on the left and Leo on the right.
So are they still looking at us, or have they moved on?
They're approaching.
Okay.
They're approaching now.
I give them the come hither emote.
Mm-hmm. At that, you actually see Cinder take one of her arms and just like do that, just like cling possessively to the boyfriend kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Around the arm of his that's closer to her, just mine. And one thing you also notice once he starts getting a little bit closer, you see like sort of hanging around his neck in front of that little bit in front of that scarf. You see, hold on. Do I have a good shot of it? I think I do. Yeah, that'll be good enough. the little visor part, the silver part with the little the light gray part of that's like sort of hanging as like a pair of goggles around his neck.
Okay.
In front of his scarf. And once he's finally within, like, you know, hearing this, he's like, hey, did you need something, pal? And that kind of way is like, I don't remember your name. I should know your name, but I don't remember your name kind of voice.
What do you want to eat? The souls of the innocent. A bagel. No, 2 bagels.
Oh boy.
But yeah, he walked up to you and asked you guys a question.
I give a polite bow and I
So
believe
what
we've
brings
met
you to
before,
this
yes.
fine establishment?
I couldn't hear Jinx. What?
I give a polite seated bow and say, yes, we have met before. I am Shiakio.
Well, no, his tone of voice was like, have I met you before? He didn't actually say, have I met you before?
Oh.
Because he asks, like, can I help you?
So I look at the two of them, I smirk, and then say, greetings, you two. What brings you to this fine establishment?
There's like, you get the most like mean mug deadpan look out of the fire elemental lady. And she just like she's just like, are you really asking this when it's an expression that to you very easily because you have high wisdom and thus don't need to actually like roll to understand the intent behind her glare. She's like,
So,
motherfucker, you're why we're here.
Druidcraft again to summon a snowflake, and I blow it at her face, and then give her the shh emote, and then I look at the guy, and I say,
Quiet, darling. The adults are talking.
Oh god.
we do know you, but why are you here? But it sounded interesting.
Hey. There's a lot of confusion on Leo as he watches you blow a snowflake at the fire elemental, who the moment it comes within like about a foot of her, it just into steam. And you kind of feel the air getting a little bit warmer, and it seems to be coming from her. And he's like, calm down. It'll be fine. We just discussed this, Cinder. Well, to answer your first kind of sarcastic question, you did. Or, he like actually pauses, really, he's tripping over his words now. No, you're why we came here. Did you need something from us, or?
We were wondering if perhaps you needed help with whatever it is you're dealing with. You guys seem kind of a little wound tightly for some reason.
Well, that and whatever you're going to be doing sounds interesting. Just call it a vibe.
Make a persuasion check there, Fenless.
Lame.
Yeah, especially when he rolls a natural 20 insight. And he's just like, sure. Then he kind of side eyes Fenless, and he's like, now he just like turns all of his focus to Shiakio because like you're not weirding him out like the elf is. The druid is giving him entire concerns, and he's like, I'm just gonna not. So
don't mind him.
It's nothing terribly major, at least it shouldn't be. Just, merc legwork.
Legwork for what, if you don't mind me asking?
He's about to answer, then he seems to pause, digs into his coat, pulls out a thing, and it looks like he's reading something on it, because it looked kind of like a little pocket tablet PC about.
Okay.
He's like, did you get hired by Dragonor without me knowing it?
We're on a preferred list of freelance mercenaries.
No, I know that, but did you get actually hired?
For whatever this job at legwork is? No.
It doesn't matter for the job specifically, just are you an employee of Dragonor? Yes or no?
Not officially, no. As I said, we are...
Then I can't tell you anything, and he puts it back in his coat.
Oh, you'll know fun, are you? So then, slightly annoyingly, I look over at the flame elemental girl, and I go, "Dearie, are you sure you couldn't let us in on this little secret? It can't be that big, can it?"
Perhaps we could help.
He looks between the two of you, then looks at Cinder, who is still glaring daggers directly at Fenless, and he's like, snaps his fingers to get her attention. She's like, huh? And then they start conversing in Primordial. And now that you can hear it, you're very certain it's Primordial because it's very rough, almost dwarvish sounding. But you can definitely tell it's more... It's weird how you can tell what dialect of Primordial Summons is, because it always has a way it stands out. For them, it sounds very active and such, because you're pretty sure it's specifically Ignan, the fire elemental subdialect, as opposed to the water subdialect you've heard Arvin and Padma using a lot. But it's this about 30-second conversation that like gets very again animated between these two as they just like start like they're gesturing between themselves and you guys now. It's very like two characters trying to be quiet and have an argument at the same time, but they're still actually talking. It's about like, have you ever seen like the scene in Down Periscope with like they got to do like the whale noises from the crazy ass dude who runs the sonar in that submarine?
I do recall that scene.
Yeah, it's about like that when that the stupid electrician gets in the background and starts making weird poses and confusing the fuck out of everybody. Then finally, I'm pretty sure. Because it's like, it's straight up, he pulls his like little tablet out again. It straight up says here, I'm not supposed to discuss it with people that aren't on Dragon Roar's payroll directly. Preferred mercs don't count. So I mean, I would be in breach of contract, and as a merc, that's bad. You should know that.
I do know that. It just seems she's very worried, and I figured I would offer at least my hand in assistance.
Appreciated, but she worries about everything. He gets smacked upside the head by her. What you do?
Now, why not both of you sit down and enjoy this wondrous tea? Because I did just buy barrels of it. Come sit and stay a while.
You know, that might actually not be a bad idea, if only to get her to actually calm down. And at that, you see Cinder just like give him a glare, and then the little pendant around his neck like lights up for a second, and then just all of a sudden she just like in a quick whirl of flame disappears into the pendant, and he's like looks down at it. It's gonna be one of those days with you, isn't it? Whatever.
Well, she seems fun.
She usually is.
To introduce myself too.
Sucks having imaginary girlfriends.
I give you credit for figuring out for that comment, Kel. I give you credit for that comment because that is actually part of her character. She does have the Tokies for him. Because it's funny.
Okay.
But yeah, Leo like sort of shakes his head, taps on the little pendant with a weird. It has an almost clearly a stylized letter that again neither of you recognize because you're probably it's like probably in primordial. He like taps it a few times and then just sits down. It usually gets better when she's not, so wound up, but she gets wound up pretty easily because, well, we've been through a lot. And not all of it's been good. But, well, that's just how it goes when you're a merc.
Indeed.
Guys should stop playing drink the stuff under the sink.
Okay. Anyways, you were saying, Jinx?
Had a few jobs go bad with you two, then I take it? Or is there a specific event that has kind of caused this?
Little column A, little column B.
Fair enough.
I can't really pinpoint one particular thing. It's just, well, it's happened over the years.
What would Celestine have to do to convince them that he's a magic booth and you have to rub his belly to get 3 wishes?
I didn't think Celestine was here.
Celestine isn't there.
Oh, am I not?
No.
No, you're still roughhousing with child boobs.
I hear you like saying these things and like I just feel like it's a peanut guy. They're like, oh no, Celestine, as far as I know, was at a park playing with little kids because he is a good boof.
He is a good boof.
He's playing
But
with other
sometimes
boofs.
he's a shit.
Yeah, like the whole he's single.
Doggo wig. Yeah.
dear Lord.
Celsius like smooth criminal. Just put the Michael Jackson hat on him. Bam, there you go. Let him moonwalk.
Celestine changes outfits quicker than the guy in Split.
Just somehow tears off his armor like it's cloth, and he's now wearing a white tuxedo.
With a hat.
How is it?
I
Yes.
wish you'd unsheath your other sword. Paints are suddenly gone.
Anyway,
Now, is this secrecy from the contract giver, or is it from Dragon Roar itself for whatever reason?
he actually pulls it back out again to double check, and he like looks at request of the contractor. And then he puts it back.
Fair enough. Because
Who
my
is
thought
it?
is, assuming the rest of our group agrees to it, just two of us obviously are here at the moment, is to see if we could maybe contract Dragon Roar and put, I believe you said her name was Cinder's mind to rest a little bit, by allowing ourselves onto the contract as well. Assuming the contractor agrees to it, of course.
I mean, part of why we're here is because we're supposed to meet the contractor here. So you might be able to do it directly, but I don't know how well that'd go, because it's first time with this particular client. He's not like a repeat customer. And admittedly, I think he gave the boss kind of a bad vibe.
How so? If I'm able to ask such of you.
He like kind of leans back in the chair he's sitting in and crosses his arms. It's like, you ever talk to someone who just got off the phone with someone else and they're just like, they just got like a mood that like, and he makes like that face you get when you're just like, I don't even know what the fuck. And they're just like, they're in like a weird mood when you've seen them before that day and everything was like, you know, par for the course with them. And then just suddenly one phone call and they're just like, my dude, I don't even know. Like, it was weird because it's like, it's an equal part. I have concerns because he was like acting a little off and like some had him a bit weirded out. But at the same time, like, it was a fair amount of cash, so not really gonna turn it down, and also doesn't seem that bad. But still, gotta meet the contractor to, you know, finalize the whole details, as it were.
I've taken a few contracts like that in my time. Yeah, I can understand the concern. It is kind of hit and miss on how things turns out with folks like that cause that kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But I mean, if it turns out to be on the up and up, there's nothing really to worry about. I'm not concerned. If he does like try to stab us or something, I can just punch his face off. Well, not literally, of course, but it'll still hurt.
Fair enough. Well, again, I would offer our assistance, assuming the group agrees to it. Both to put Cinda's mind at rest, and we have.
Oh, I'm sure they would. They're bored anyway.
Fair enough. We might not be a bad idea to have a stop in this town for a little bit of extra time on our way to our destination.
Got somewhere to be in a big hurry?
Not in a particularly hurry, but we're currently heading toward the Yggdrasil Reef.
Oh yeah, heard it's nice this time of year.
Echoed in the distance. Mama!
Who might as well come to the restaurant at this point?
Put my axe against their head.
Hit them twice, now they're dead. Mama. And has just begun. Oh my god, yes!
What?
Oh, I'm so glad that's
Sorry.
immortalized on YouTube now. I'm so glad. So glad. Well, Twitch at the moment, but whatever.
Close enough.
Details. Ah, no, dice, don't escape my hand. But, if at this point Celestine and or Padma would like to happen upon this, please roll I'm gonna say what would be a good enough for this roll? Roll survival or performance, whichever is higher.
Perhaps we should contract Dragon Roar, let them know we happen to be in the area for this contract as well, and see what perhaps they think.
Okay. On that note, Celestine, how would you like to make your arrival? Yeah.
I imagine him just charging because he just senses that people were talking about Yggdrasil Reef and his mama.
Manic dog.
I mean, otherwise I can summon him with the scent of Scooby snacks.
Full on zoom mode.
Wait, full on what?
Zoomies.
Here, wait, we got to show him an example because it's a thing. Hold on. Let me just make sure this is right.
Okay. Well,
I'll
that's
show-
happening.
yeah.
Padma, how would you like to make your arrival?
I don't see a reason to be flashy about it, at least.
Hmm. Okay then. You know what? Because you rolled a 26, I'm gonna have fun with this then.
I was gonna say, if I see her approaching it, assuming there's not already a spacer, I will scoot over for Padma to sit next to me if she so chooses.
Okay then.
Oh wait,
Well-
that's not a good video. Oh well.
Oh wait, let me see the zoomies real quick.
Basically, it's a dog just goes hyperactive and starts running around in circles and crazy eights.
Okay. You want to have someone have you stopping yourself, Celestine, or you just want to bowl someone over?
Oh, kids getting bowled over.
Oh.
It would be completely unintentional. They're like those
Pardon
goddamn
the loud
cartoon
noise, by
times
the
where
way.
they
I'm sorry
go
if
head
I
over
hurt your
heels,
ears.
Sound effect included.
Oh god. In that case, roll me a dexterity saving throw. Okay. As this is now the scene that unfolds as Giacchio finished. What was the last thing you said, Jinx?
Basically saying we should perhaps call Dragon Roar and get a second opinion on the matter, since it is
Okay.
their since it's
As
their
you say
contract.
that, you suddenly see off to the right of your field of vision, you see a familiar large blur of motion as Celestine is coming full doggo sprint in the direction of you guys. And before you get the chance to like say, oh hey, you suddenly see Cinder poof into existence between herself and between Celestine and Leo. Because Celestine's coming right at Leo. And she just poof catches the boof and like she's hovering in the air, but she manages to coax him to a stop just before the two of them would have crashed right into Leo. It's funny you say that because I imagine that was Padma's reaction because it doesn't matter what direction she came from. She is just materialized on the side of the table between Giacchio and Fenless, as far as they are aware.
So what? She basically just appears on the table in between us.
No. It's like the whole cartoon thing. Like there's no one standing there. The camera shifts back, and now someone's there.
Oh, okay.
It's just like suddenly there. Like you didn't even see them walk up. And upon seeing Cinder stop this large booth, and he just like, Leo looks past her, then back at Fenless and Giacchio, and now Padma. Friend of yours?
Yes. A very energetic, good boy.
We
Oh,
call him the Booth.
okay then. I think it'll be fine, Cinder. And after a moment, Celestine, there's this big like lady who smells like burning in front of you, and then she just poof disappears.
It's a
Snap at
pleasure
the
to
smoke.
finally meet you. And I do say that in character. Cutting myself off as she poofs back into the necklace.
As she poofs, you also see that she was hiding from view as the sight of Arvin approaching, munching on a donut with a cup of coffee in hand. He's like, "Oh, hey guys."
Ah, good. Most of us are here. By the way, I have this note from our resident justice man. I show it to the rest of the group, assuming they haven't seen it already.
I assumed you showed it to them before everyone scattered to do their thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
And like the notes were a known commodity between you guys before you all wandered off into town.
Fair enough. I redact that statement.
Okay. Although in its place, you like had this like twinge on your ear, and you swear you heard just a slight echo of the word justice being screamed at the top of someone's lungs. Just the faintest echo. If you didn't have your like feet that like helps you be more observant to things like that, you wouldn't have noticed. There's like a little tweak here. You're like, did I just hear justice? And then you're distracted by the conversation at hand.
Yes. I assume me and Fenless kind of give the lowdown of what we've been discussing with Leo
Mm-hmm.
to get their take on it.
I mean, I appreciate the offer for help, but I have no idea if the client will let you do it.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, I also, realistically, I can't stop you from wanting to come with me to the client anyway. Because, well, to do that, I would have to, like, probably try to start punching you. And I don't feel like beating up people right now. At least, not unless they're trying to actively beat me up first.
Well, I'd say we could be really persuasive at times, but my dice rolls tonight are rather iffy.
Do you say that in character?
I do.
Dice rolls? What? These dice rolls you speak of.
It's the inklings of fate.
Maybe you should lay off the casinos, pal. But,
Never been.
Sure you haven't. But, if you want, I mean, you can come along. Again, don't know how well it'd go, and if you want something to do so you're not, completely bored out of your mind on your trip to the reef, I mean, I can't really turn you away, because he even pulls it out yet again to look at it. Nothing in the contract says I have to actively tell people not to come with me, so loophole. Whoop.
Very well.
The foop, by the way, was him putting it back in his coat.
I guess unless there's objections from anyone in the group, then that's what we shall do.
And
Armin
so
just
our
said-
adventure begins.
Armin just sips on his coffee. I'm down. It's something to do along the trip. Well, then, so you guys are actually going to go with Leo to see about the contract.
Yes, and on the way, I would like to contact Marcus or whoever in Dragon Roar I have to speak with to say, basically get a letter of recommendation. I'm explaining the situation. So that way it perhaps goes a little better. I can show that to the contractor when we get there.
As you're trying to do this, you realize you don't have Dragon Roar's phone number on your phone. You have it on the bus.
Shit.
So you're like, hey, Leo, can you, like, put in a good word, get your boss to give us a good word? And Leo's like, I know what to do, don't worry.
I apologize, I left the number on the bus, apparently.
You never said you downloaded it!
No, I didn't. When we get back to the bus, that's gonna be among the first things I do, though.
Anyway, let me just get the bus token because you guys have moved now. So you're not up here. You were closer to around here when you met up with Leo. And it's... You understand a bit more why he's suspicious. Or at least Shiakio and Fenless do. Because a few times once you start like getting to about here,
Whoa!
you guys are... What the fuck?
Holy cow, mutated.
Oh. You got to see that. Yeah, he becomes very big. He mega evolves. Put that in your Pokedex, Cal.
All this light.
Yeah, as you get to about here, you notice a bit more. You feel a bit more why he's suspicious. You seem to be cutting through a lot of like back alleys now, and you're like, okay, there is cause for the suspicion now.
Before we get to the more shadier parts, as I'm gentlemanly escorting Padma as I'm wont to do, I do make mention that I would perhaps like to learn Primordial.
Two birds, one stone.
So that's mentioned. I have to get to about. You're now definitely in like kind of shady looking places because now you're down here. And you see Leo look at the tablet thing, look up, put it away again, like, this is the place. And it's this... Honestly, this place couldn't look more suspicious if, like, a guy voiced by Samuel L. Jackson kicked down the door and started singing about, Are You Ready?
I can understand Cinder's calls for concern now.
Like it's like in as high tech places as this is, even with it still being druidic, like there's like old wax candles that have like melted on like stands nearby. It looks like a fucking voodoo shop again that Samuel L. Jackson would be walking out and singing about things from. Candles, like things that you swear look like shrunken heads, but no, they're just like little stone carvings that look like shrunken heads, and you're just like, like there's so
shadiness.
There's so much shit here that just like concern TM.
Yep, lots of.
Just like the overall atmosphere. And then you get to the door, which has for a knocker, like just a stone carved skull holding in its jaws the actual knocker, which looks again to be made of carved, which again is carved to look like bones, somehow forming like a circle. Leo grabs it and knock, knock, knock. You then discover that apparently this door has one of those like little slide open peepholes, because part of it just suddenly opens. You see two beady little eyes, like full on cartoonishly eyes in the dark, look out at you. What you want? I'm here from Dragon Roar. My name is Leo. I'm supposed to see a fuck. Shit, where did I write down this guy's name? God damn it. No. Damn it, notes.
Imagining Leo hurriedly looking in his pocket and looking at something on his notepad again.
Fuck, where the hell did I write it down? Are you kidding me? Do I have to actually like look up one because I didn't give this man a fucking name?
His name is Mark. It's Steven, but with a PH.
Looking for a okay, I have the name now. A skill to solve? Like the eyes like kind of squint a little bit. 1 moment, and then it just shuts. And you hear from somehow both sides of the door like the overly complicated removing like 30 goddamn locks kind of thing. And then the door, in another very concerningly weird fashion, just suddenly falls into the ground. Not as in like falls over, just like, no, just goes straight down. And like catches at about the knocker. And you see this guy who... He's an interesting sight. Because the way you saw his eyes poking through that peephole, you would assume they were about like normal humanoid proportions. No. What you're looking at is about a 4'0" snake man. Wearing like a kind of like a shaman-y looking stuff. And this impressively dapper but still like really raggedy looking like a bowler hat on his head. Come in. And he just like...
What was the name Leo said again?
I will type it out in the D&D Discord.
Thank you. Okay. This is the way you said it is just like... That's just a backwards name?
Nope.
No, it is not.
Nope. And Leo like you see him like grab his little pendant a little bit and like lean up. Okay, so maybe you were onto something, and then he follows the little heck man into the building. You guys follow Leo?
Yes. I do anyway.
I guess so.
All right then. So, Celestine, you have to kind of like crouch down a little bit and like hold your arms close to fit through because the door's not quite big enough for you, but you can make it work without breaking it because you are a good boy who does not break things.
Can't I just walk on all fours? Or is it a width problem?
it's a bit more of a width problem.
Ooh. I'm fluffy, not fat.
Well, you're not. Your armor kind of is, though.
I'm built like a brick shithouse.
Yeah, you are also very muscular. So, but you managed to get through without destroying the door because you are not a bad boof. And then once everyone's through, you just hear as suddenly just shooting up back out of the ground, the door boom, closes behind you. But fortunately, the inside does not look like, oh, there's about 1 billion people with guns and crossbows pointed right at you right now. So that's at least a good sign, even though the door has continued to continue keeping things spooky. And the inside of this is very, again, stereotypically, like, mad alchemist's laboratory. Like, there's beakers, there's, like, various little experiments. There's, like, a few hands in jars, which are arranged in various, have their, like, fingers arranged in a way to spell out welcome. It's very weird. Is he just floating disembodied hand, just floating severed hands, like spelling welcome?
That's terrifying.
And they're all floating in like slightly glowing green slime in jars. Again, this place is just all kinds of spooky.
So much spook.
Yeah, you also see what looks like like immediately to your left. There's what clearly seems to be like some kind of shopkeep counter, because there's like a little cash register that's again like decorated. It's very much, the whole atmosphere is very equal parts voodoo shaman and Halloween store. It was like in all of its presentation and everything. You also see sticking on what at first you thought was a wall, a very like oddly out of place looking thing, because it's a bright purple dinosaur head. With like neon pink feathers that seem to be glowing. And like if one of you like kind of looks over at it, its eyes blink and it turns its head. It's a living creature sticking its head through a window and looking into the store.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like Halloween Willy Wonka in here. Good call there, Kel.
I was thinking that Forbidden Alley that's on Diagon Alley in Harry Potter.
But yeah, there's a purple, like neon feathered dinosaur just looking at you from like a window. Seems perfectly reasonable, and you get a little closer, you can see the windows. You see there's another window that like actually has glass in it and isn't just a hole. And there's like a little enclosure for this guy. It's got like, some, proper plants. It's like, it's fairly big, because this guy does not look that small. Because again, it's about 5-ish feet tall total, like from top of its head to the ground. And then he seems to have like a little space where he can, jog around. But at the moment, he's like curious because people, and just like keeps looking. Occasionally lizard bleps. And after a moment, you hear some rummaging, and then the little heck man walks back in, a little stiltedly, kind of like the puppet of Yoda from Empire Strikes Back. And he holds up a little. It looks like he's holding up a plant to the lizard, who sees it, and like his eyes go, "Ooh, hi!" And he starts trying to nip at it. And he's like, Terry, no, yeah, shit, oh." The lizard like stops, licks his lips, Good. He throws the little snake man, throws the little plant up, and then the lizard just snap, chomp, 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 and then whoop, back out of the hole. Ah, sorry. It was his feeding time.
Interesting creature.
Okay.
Ah, he good for security. Very, 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 very good guard. Yes, yes. And then the Heckman pulls up like this, just ridiculously oversized for his tiny, tiny frame chair. Just scree along the ground a little bit, and then sits down. Yes, yes, I am Eskin. You ones who take requests, yes.
I'm letting Leo do the talking. This is his contract.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm from Dragon Roar. These are some preferred mercs we got on our list for, in case we feel like we need a little help. Play safe. Good call. Good call. Things can get very dangerous. Yeah. And he's like kind of muttered, like he kind of like does that, like you're talking to someone to one side kind of thing. He's like, well, I think you got in then, pal.
That way.
And then he's like, yeah, you didn't quite give the full details in the contract. Were you in a bit of a hurry at the time, or? You see him, like, kind of stare blankly, blink a few times. No, things simply forgot. But yes, we'll tell rest. Now that remember. And he reaches over the arm of his chair, which is very comical for seeing this tiny, tiny snake man just stretch to one side, do that thing where like you're like blindly feeling into a bin for something, and then pull out like an old school like quill and parchment scroll. This is what hire for. Details. Interesting things. Objects of great power. Will not want to fall into bad hands. And you contracted mercs instead of the police because... Fulson Cop's not the best. Kind of dickheads. Uh-huh. And you didn't contract any mercs closer because Dragon Roar came highly recommended from cousin. Well, cousin-in-law. Family tree bit strange, but no worries, you highly recommended. And I not give recommendations lightly. No, not him. Right, so... May I see that, please? It is. So I gotta share this. Copy a link, 'cause this was put in a different chat. Boop. Owl. You see Leo take the scroll and then carefully unfurl it and look over. This is a map of... This isn't that far from the border with Techna. And it leads to items of great power? Well, might only be item at this point. Showed other places before. Bigger, more spread out, and less touch them. Then do what you see here. But they start disappearing from map. Just little lights, like they turn off, like when you go to bed.
Something Naku said. I just hear cousin in that voice, and she just thinks, Roland, it's your cousin. Want to go bowling?
Hello?
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 Okay, cool. My headset just decided to suddenly die on me.
Oh, I was just saying, I don't know if you caught it, but
I
Naku says she just hears cousin in that voice and just thinks, Roland, it's your cousin. Want to go bowling?
No, God damn it! I have to reload the D&D channel because the sound died on my end.
Damn it.
Yeah, because again, my headset decided, nope.
Your headset said, fuck you.
Yeah, that was kind of annoying. What the hell? I still don't hear it. Can you guys hear it?
Hear the music?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can still hear it.
I can't. That's really annoying. Hold on. Let me stop it and then try again now. There we go. Now I can hear it. Okay. But oh, that's my place. Fuck. Yeah. Oh, right. Objects of great power. Great power. What kind of great power? Huh. One. He, at that point, like, hops up onto the chair, then just climbs over the back of it, and you hear him just like tumble over the back, and you hear like the sound of someone just falling into like a bunch of shit. And then you hear some rattling around, like, I'm okay! I'm still okay! Not hurt! All good. Rattle. Dig, rattle. Just freaking just like clumping and shit, just banging around. You swear you hear pots and pans. And then you hear it somehow say, how did cat get in here? And then you see a cat just suddenly fly over the back of the chair. Hit the ground near Shiaki, and then just fucking book it over to a door. Book it over to like a little window on near where the front door was, and just
Chase.
cram. Celestine gets as far as the window, and the cat's out of range. And then Boof knows it's stuck through window. It was a little too fast for you, Celestine. But have it! And then you suddenly see from almost like he just went. If you're looking at him and just like looking at his chair, suddenly to your right, you see his hand just jut out, holding something else. Found it! And then he climbs out of the pile there and like waddles back over to his chair, sits down, and opens up this like super big heavy tome. Like it looks about like a hardcover phone book in terms of size.
Okay. This is a rather thick, hefty book.
Yeah, he sits down with it in his lap, and it's almost comical how oversized it is compared to his not super tiny but still kind of tiny form. And he flips through some pages. Yes, and then draws his little clawed finger along one of the skimming. Yes, objects of great elemental power, forged aeons ago. Leo looks down at the map, Then back up at him. Great elemental power. Yes, yes. Have names for them. He flips over the page of the book and you all can see this. It's upside down, but you recognize the first thing you see on one of the 2 pages. That's Orzal. A highly detailed sketch of Orzal. Yes, yes. Blade of the Wind, the Endless Render. Turns the page again. Now there's Winter's Breath. And he goes through giving like this short little epitaph for each of them. And he goes through Winter's Breath, or Orzal, Winter's Breath, Tidemaster's Ward, the Ignition Talon, the Armor of Stonehearth, the Fang Collar, the Spectre's Cowl, Spectre Racer, all of them. And as he keeps going through them, you'll get more and more concerned about what the hell you're about to find because of this map.
Shiakio's wondering what the fuck is that tome?
But as he says that, he then once he gets to the last one, which was last one on, there would have been the Limit Crusher. He then abruptly just snaps the heavy book shut. Yes, yes. Very powerful items. Very. He stops, opens the book back up again, flips to Orzal's page, looks at it, then looks at you, Zyakio.
My hand is instinctively grabbing Orzal at this point.
He looks at that. He then slowly, you see his like little slitted heck eyes turn towards Fenris. Flip page, look at Winter's Breath, then at him again. Back and forth repeatedly. Next one. Tidemaster's Ward. Stonehearth. Spectre's Cowl. He is... You have things. You have them. You have... How? What? Map. And you. And... Is there more? Is there another map? Do you... He throws the book to the ground, jumps, and like... leaps up onto you, Zyakio, is grabbing you by like the collar of your shirt, looking you directly in the eyes with his face pressed right up next to yours. How? Where? Where are their map? Do you have other map? Tell me. Tell us, Gil.
We found them by chance, and I would appreciate it if you got out of my face.
There's a pause. He's like sitting there for a second. Okay. He like puts one. He like lets go of your collar with one hand, puts that hand on your shoulder, then jumps off you and grabs onto Arvin to do the same thing. Arvin seems less perturbed by this than you are. He's like,
he's inches away from my face, or he's like a foot away from my face. It's kind of creepy.
No. His face was literally right up against yours. You were staring directly into his eyes.
Oh my god, he'd have gotten such a biggest blep.
How you do this? What chance leads you to items of such great power? And Arvin is like sort of calmly. He still has like that cup of coffee, by the way, just in his hand, and slightly moves a skill enough so he can get a sip before he answers. And then just, we have more. And the hex eyes just get wider. You have more? Mm-hmm. One of our companions has the ignition talon. Sip. Another has the Spectre's Cowl. Sip. And then just the hex eyes just so wide. Oh. He fucking leaps off, uses Celestine's head as a springboard, gets back to his chair, lands like head first into it, and then just quickly rights himself and flips the book back open.
What is your interest in these, by the way?
He's flipping through pages. Tell moment. One. Look, things. Words. Important.
Man, I know a couple herbs that would really help this dude out.
Are you saying that in or out of character?
Completely in character. You think Celestine doesn't just chew on random bits of grass?
Upon hearing that, he actually pauses mid-turning page, looks up, may have to take you up on that offer, could use it. And he keeps flipping through pages. No. There is no... What if the... How and then the... Give map! Map! Back, please! Leo's like, he's still looking at the map. He just like watched all of this happen. And he just like carefully hands the map back to the little snake man. Who snatches it up, flips it, taps on the map, and it expands. Like the image like zooms out. And you can see 2 points of light. The one near the border of Tekna and Cavalli, and another one at the Yggdrasil Reef. And he goes to the reef one. This one, then. He taps on it a few times. And it like zooms in and out rapidly because he's just tapping his finger against the page really quickly. And then he finally stops. This one, then. Do you have those in this? Do you have Bracer? Arvin immediately, no. Someone else find then. He keeps tapping on the map now, like between where the other one is and then and then the reef, just like back and forth. And he's like, this poor heck just does not know what the fuck. There is no...
Nock was asking for examples on these herbs.
Don't you even worry. And he finally stops and just like practically throws the map back at Leo. Take that, you will need. And Leo just like, oh, okay. You will need to be helpful, very helpful. Find last two. Why? They're always prophecy. They're always prophecy for any number of things. See it in reality, see it in story, see it in movie, see it on TV. See it in hobo off street who's had a few too many to drink. But the prophecy for all things. They can happen, they have happened. We have seen, it is known that these can happen. There's no prophecy or anything for these. And he, as he's emphasizing this, he points at Fenlis and more specifically the Winter's Breath he's wearing. There's no prophecy for assembling these items. They just exist. The only, and he says this with sarcastic words, prophecy is the tale of how they were forged and the people who first wielded them. There's nothing about what happens if they are gathered, nothing saying if it is bad, if it is good, if you can't remake the world, if you can't just decide, well, now it's Tuesday because you rule time, or if it's not something so mundane, like you put them all together and they make you a grilled cheese sandwich in about a second.
Has anyone ever said that you worry too much?
He like pauses. I have been told this, yes.
Celestine hears everything that he's saying right now, and his eyes completely dilate because he's in a fantasy of being able to eat the same piece of bacon over and over and over.
Infinite cosmic power. Same piece of bacon.
Hey,
Oh,
to
I'm
be
out of
fair,
bacon.
that's pretty effing awesome.
Celestine's magical item gold, the infinite bacon strip. It's the piece of bacon that no matter how many times you eat it will always be there.
Multiple times. Why do you ask, says Naku?
I've heard this, yes, but it's dealing many magical things. As you can, well, see. Some of them more spooky. Though, not entirely by choice. At least not the hands. It is a good sign, but I still question why cousin give to me. I know it matches aesthetic, but I digress.
Who is this cousin, if I may ask?
Ah, cousin-in-law. He, Cobalt.
Does he
I think-
perchance go by the name of Sneck?
Snack? No, I believe that relative of his, yes, but not him. When I think of it, I think his name is Cobra. Yes, Cobra. Crazy
Already
one.
took it.
Tell very strange stories about fishing up things with winch on truck. A very odd one. I very much worry about sister for marrying his brother. Seems like very odd bunch. Also, not often you see Yuan T marry Cobalt, but it happened apparently. Don't test me. But there no prophecy, no nothing about assemble these items, these WOTTyssey forged. As far as I know, as far as anyone know, because if I have this book, other people have seen this book. This book is not new. This book is very old. He picks it up and shakes it, and like you see some dust fly off of it. I know I'm not first one to see this book. Other smarter people have probably seen this book or copies of book. Most people make more than one copy of book. Makes sense. Spread information. But this book tells of many magical items and objects in the world. These ones just happen to be the most famous because, well, the WOTTyssey Forged. Who doesn't know the stories? But there's never any prophecy of them being required chosen wielders, or if you bring them together, infinite cosmic power in itty-bitty living space. So I'm confused. It's usually just like someone finds one, they use it for about like 20 years, maybe, then lose it or die, something. But they don't have it forever. Really, because there's not really that many immortals on this planet. But that different story. So, if so many amass, why? There have to be plan. There have to be reason. They don't just happen. You don't just be Joe Schmo who finds Orzal in trash can.
That is where we found it.
He like stops, looks at you. You
About
found
that.
Orzal in trash can.
Well, it wasn't
Effectively,
exactly a trash can.
He closes the book, sets it, and then closes the book, sets it down, grabs a different book, and then like table flips it off his lap. I don't believe this. He gets up from the chair and just like walks over to his counter. I still not believe this. This is so preposterous. Oh my god! Just
I give him
take
the
map, find what it leads to. Just You see him like start walking up what looks like a spiral staircase upwards. He instead phases through it and just goes downwards into you can't see me anymore. But you still hear him just like going And after a moment, his
Yes.
head pops up through the floor and get out the store. Boom, and then he's gone.
So wait, what did he say his relation to Snake was? Like, if any at all?
Cousins twice removed via marriage. I don't know.
Basically, Snake's uncle Cobra is the brother of the person who married Eskil's sister.
Okay.
So, in a roundabout way, you have met another piece of Snake's extraneous family.
And Naku's just, god fucking damn it, is all Snake's relatives named after serpents of some kind?
Well, no.
Believe it.
Well, Snake himself is named Snake ?
Right.
And
Not
then there's
sure
Cobra.
of or heritage.
And then there's Cobra. And then now there's this guy who is just straight up a Yuan-Ti, which is snake people. And like seeing this, Leo just like looks at the map, looks back at you guys. So hey, scavenger hunt?
It would appear that way. And funny, it shows the Yggdrasil Reef because that was part of the reason why we were going anyway. The other reason being to finish up our lovely booth friends' pilgrimage.
I see. Let's get out of this poor guy's store. And then as Leo approaches the door, he just suddenly shoots back down on the ground. He's like, this place is too weird, and he just walks out the door.
Yeah. Fully understand the vibes now.
Wait, okay. Hold on. Before we leave the store, you have to tell me. How snake-like is this dude?
1 second.
Very.
Let me find.
I mean, like, on a level from, like, you know, snake-like as in, like, a villain, or, like, Jafar.
Hold on. Let me pull up an example image of. Take this fellow, give him stumpy little legs, and make him about the size of Yoda, and put him in, you know, an actual outfit. Like, that's the level of heck we are dealing with.
Celestine has a question for him.
Yes.
Does it really fall off after mating?
He is already gone.
Damn it!
He left. He walked through what looked like a spiral staircase going up, but he instead went down. And then after a little while, it suddenly from the middle of the floor popped his head up and told you to get out, and then disappeared again. And I don't think he's quite in the mood to answer questions right now. He just told you to get out of the store. Internet.
Didn't mean to do that.
You just did a dumb.
Yep.
Oh, I lost my chain.
The booth will never know, says Naku.
Well, he might find out, just not right now.
So what was this other location he was pointing out? Looked somewhere near the border to Tekna?
Leo pulls the map back out, and it's set back to the where it had been aimed before he had, you know, before a skill had started poking it again.
Frantic poking.
Yeah, and he's like, it's... I'm gonna have to pull up the map for you now. The main proper world map to show things!
Huzzah!
Because basically you guys' token is like right on top of the lake because that's about where the town is. It's just on the... just on this side. But the map pointed you to about here-ish?
I don't know about everyone else, but I'm still on the local map.
Oh, right, fuck. I didn't move you. That's why. Boop. Like, the town is on this side of the square you're on, that I'm pointing to.
Yep.
And then the map is pointing from here to around in between these two squares. So it's a little way south of you. But don't worry, you have a bus.
Mm-hmm. Does it mention
The map just shows you the location, tells you nothing else.
Okay, doesn't say what item is there.
Well, there's only 3 left that you guys don't have, and you know someone has one of them. And, well, you now have confirmation that one is indeed at the reef, and by process of elimination, the 2 that are currently unclaimed, as far as you know, are the Stormbinder and the Fang Caller. So...
Probably the Stormbinder.
Mm-hmm. So you will find the Industrial Taser, presumably.
The Industrial Taser.
I mean, like, it's just like a leather bracer with, like, amethysts on it, and it does lightning things.
For justice.
Less lightning taser, more I become the fucking taser, because it lets you turn into lightning bolts, doesn't it? Or something to that effect?
It involves lightning a lot. At more powerful tiers, it probably involves turning into lightning.
I think that's what I remember reading or something from, like, the lore, when we looked up the lore.
Yeah, when you looked up the lore, there was a mention of, supposedly, one of its greatest abilities is that you can basically ride the lightning and make it super literal. By the way of, you are now lightning bolt, and you go here, and zap whatever was between you and there.
Roughly what time of day is it currently?
Time of day. At this point, because it's around noon now?
Okay.
Also, your passive perception is 20, right?
Yes.
Once again, your ear twitches, but it's the other ear and it's coming from the other direction. You swear faintly on the wind. You hear, "Justice!"
Sounds like terrain is quite busy.
You're still you hear it. You're not sure you heard it. You swear you hear, and this is "Justice!" And you're like, "Am I hearing it?"
Hearing. I'm not imagining it. It sounds like terrain is busy. Did we perhaps want to try and set out right away, or what are you thinking as far as plan, Leo?
I mean, it's not like it's a moving location, so if you don't mind giving me a ride down there, because, well, given how close we are to the border, there's probably going to be a fair bit of trees, and it might be underground, so I don't know if I'll be able to make it there easily with what I've got to drive.
Fair enough, we can accommodate. We have a fairly large, air quotes, party bus.
Right. At one point. I mean, if you've only got most of your friends, I suppose it'd probably be best to just, gather up the whole posse, as it were, and then get down to business.
Yes.
And he actually pauses, looks around. Did you hear that?
Justice.
It sounded like someone shouting justice.
Oh, good. I'm not imagining it then. Yes, that's one of our comrades.
You know what? I'm not even going to touch that. Let's just. Arvin just pats Leo on the shoulder. I feel you. And because, unfortunately, we might actually be needing other people, we're going to call it there. Not a very long session, but a session nonetheless.
That's alright. Don't have to have long sessions all the time.
Yeah, but congratulations, quest accepted, and you have very much perturbed this poor heck.
Right. Because Orzal was literally essentially found in a trash can.
Yeah.
All on out of character accident.
Mm-hmm. Because I hacked up.
It was still That's still just such a good story, though. Finds one of the most powerful weapons in this campaign.
In a trash can.
In a trash can. In the first episode.
Excalibur is just in a trash can in episode 1. That's just how it goes in this campaign.
Well, I'm going to close out my stream. I think you had some final words.
Did I?
You were saying something how you wanted...
Oh, right. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to prepare this because I threw off my own thing because I forgot about it, so it completely slipped my mind. But tune in next week for Elemental Odyssey to see where this adventure leads. It was something like that. It was like a next time on Dragon Ball Z thing. I don't fucking know. Go close your stream out.
Nice. All right. As he said, that's going to do it for my stream this evening. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you aren't already following, and make sure you have notifications turned on so that way Twitch will tell you when I go live. I do have a few other avenues that I announce when I go live as well. One of them being, of course, Twitter at twitter.com/JinxMcNinja. You can follow me there as well. And I do also have my own personal Discord known as the Mick Lounge. And we'll be back with this in particular next week, starting at about 5 p.m. Pacific. Tomorrow I will be live at roughly around 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our weekly Wings of the 12 raid. We're going to be trying to prog on some more, hopefully getting to God Kefka again, and doing some prog there. And yeah, if you guys really enjoy the content, consider throwing a tip or a sub my way. It's a really good way to show some love and to tell me that I'm doing something right and to keep up the good work. And I thank you for all the subs I do currently have and people who donate and give bits and things like that and show love to the channel as I'm trying to get better and grow here as a streamer. So again, thank you for those that already do or those that will in the future. And until tomorrow, guys, peace.